Welcome back to the Authentic Human Podcast. I'm Michelle Vickers, and this is part 76 of the story of creation. So, honestly, I have no idea who we're going to talk about, who we're going to talk to today, or what we're going to talk about, which is always, an awkward beginning to any hosting of an event, whether it's in person or online. However, it's just how I've been working for the last 20 years. And ultimately, it's because the messages aren't coming from me. They're coming from universal beings, and I just get to share them, which for me is a bonus because I get to learn about the universe. I get to learn about existence. And, any question that I have, we can get answers to. And so, as we've been journeying through the story of creation, we've learned a lot about existence. But ultimately, we're learning the fundamentals of the way they're showing me it's how everything in existence is woven together. And that's really, so far what we've been working on is the foundation. So when you understand how existence itself is woven together, because we need to understand the concepts really that, we're sort of floating around, right? Like science holds some concepts, spirituality holds some, but more importantly, you've picked up a whole bunch of concepts throughout your whole life. So those concepts are your beliefs. They're how you see the world. But it's important to understand that how you see the world shapes your life, right? And most people don't put those two pieces together. And that's what they want to talk about today is understanding, okay, that how you see the world is exactly what shapes your life. Now, what does that mean from a universal perspective? So we've got angelics from this first stream, from the second stream, so both the creation of matter and the creation of experience here. But we also have Pan, who he is the holder of fertility. So fertility is about bringing your intentions to life, right? That's what he's so good at, right? Like he dives in and holds the energy of that experience for the universe. So not just humanity, it's understanding that he holds that for trees, for air, right? All for the elements, right? It's understanding that all these different aspects of existence need fertility. Everything. Okay. Anytime you think about, come up with a concept that you're interested in exploring. What does that mean? It means, what do I want for breakfast? Sometimes that's what it looks like. Sometimes it looks like I want to create a new vehicle that is completely sustainable for human existence as well as the planet. It could be from one extreme to another. It doesn't really matter. What the point is right now, and what does matter, is that you begin to understand that fertility is it's one of the most important aspects of creation itself. Because every time you have an idea to bring it to fruition, it requires fertility. So what is fertility from a universal perspective? Fertility is, so Pan is going to share, and he wants you to understand that fertility itself isn't physical, okay? And that's the most important part of everything we've been talking about here, okay? Where we talk about it, universal is from the energy perspective first, okay? The physical perspective of our existence is less than 1 to 2%. Just feel that for a minute. Less than 1 to 2%. So, when people say, energy is everything, we've heard that over and over again over the past 40, 50 years. But the truth is, it's the foundation of existence. And when you begin to understand energy, how it communicates, how it exists, how it relates, then you will begin to understand matter and physical existence. Most of us, because we've been taught through scientific approaches that we're going backwards. So we want to take what we know now and then we want to go backwards and explore our history. But that's not actually how history works. History is written through your experiences, through the evolution of human existence. So it's not lost. It's encoded into your DNA. It's encoded into the DNA of every aspect of physical existence. But it's more than that. It's in the vibration and the energy that is around every single aspect of existence. It's there first. Energy is always there. The physical manifestation comes as a result of the energy. Okay? And so that's what Pan wants you to understand is fertility is understanding energetic existence first. Right? So let me give you an example. They're showing me, when people come together to create a child, okay? Sometimes their intention is to create a child, sometimes it's not. It's just for carnal experience, carnal knowledge is what they're showing me. And the reason they're using that word, carnal knowledge, is understanding that most people are in the moment of how they feel. Right? That's the great thing about sex is it brings you into a physical experience that drives your awareness of everything else out of your head. So you are now hyper focused on one specific feeling. Okay? And it is not as a result of the physical representation, which is what most of us believe. Now, sometimes it is because that's all you're capable of. But here's the thing, in the moment, okay? And what I mean by that is sex is a great, and it's not perfect, okay? Because a lot of people look at it, right? We've been taught to look at sex as something casual, as something that is a way to connect with other people or a way for self-fulfillment. And it's actually not, and it will never fill that gap. So if that's what you're trying to use to fill that gap, that's why it's not working, okay? Because it can't. But it's understanding that when used in a way that allows you to see truth, okay, you can understand that our bodies are 1 to 2% of the equation. It's understanding that your energy, I'm just feeling into what they're showing me is your energy is building. And that's what actually brings you to a state of even orgasm, is understanding that your vibration is growing as a result of. So our brains have been taught that it's stimulation, right? Physical stimulation. And although that's one particular aspect, it's very minute. It's understanding and recognizing that your brain is actually in search of a higher consciousness and a capacity to hyper focus on one aspect of existence for an extended period of time. Now, why this is so important is because that's the intention. No, that's the focus. That's the fruition, right? Like that's what fertility brings to human existence. It brings a hyper focus that allows you to create any aspect of your existence through a willingness to, it's like leave the rest of the world behind. It's understanding that when you're in that moment, that nothing else matters. Nobody's opinion matters, right? And your fears, don't exist. Fertility, true fertility, is understanding that you reach that vibration of allowing yourself the freedom to explore your potential free of any barriers. There's zero. That's fertility. And so humanity has used sex in a way to, because there's, the way they're showing me is there's the illusion of euphoria, okay? And what I mean by is an illusion, when you understand energetically what you're creating when you have sex, you're creating a vortex. Now, energetically, okay, what that vortex is designed to do is to remove you from a state of questioning, from a state of doubt, from a state of every aspect of existence that will bring you to a lower vibration. It removes you from them. It just picks you up, whoop, puts you down over here, okay? And it creates the freedom of self-expression. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking, oh my gosh, but when I'm having sex, I don't want this person to see this, or I, want to be in this position, or blah, 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 blah. That's not what this is about. Okay. It's about understanding that when you reach that state of, it's almost oblivion, where you no longer care because you're with the right partner who can allow you to be in that space. Okay. Sometimes it lasts seconds, sometimes it lasts hours. It depends on the partner. Again, it's allowing yourself to choose a partner that creates with you the opportunity for you to explore your potential. Okay. Now, the reason they're using sex as the example in this particular aspect is because that's where most people's brains go to when you think about fertility. You're thinking about birth, a new child, right? Getting pregnant and conceiving. The reality is you as a human being, okay, are an aspect of fertility. You yourself were born through that, and every aspect of your existence since, everything you've ever been interested in, is an example, if you will, an expression of fertility. Your whole life is meant to be a story of examples of fertility. And this is why we have so many people who feel unfulfilled. You're just not satisfied in your relationships and your experiences, is because you're not in a situation where you have the opportunity to experience the freedom of self-expression so that you can create experiences that fulfill you. Okay? That's what fertility is. So it's understanding that maybe your job, maybe you are micromanaged, or maybe you're, you're not in a position that allows you the freedom to explore your potential. Those are perfect examples. So you go home and you're exhausted, not because you worked all day, but because you weren't able to be creative. You weren't able to fulfill your internal, okay, again, internal energetic need, because it is a need. It's a primal need that for fulfillment. You are driven by fulfillment. And so what happens as a society, right? The reason that we go to feelings of depression and anxiety is often a result of not allowing fertility to be a part of your life, right? And it's not because you don't want to, it's because you live in a world that bans it, or the way they're also showing me is sometimes protects you from it. And so what they want you to begin to understand, so this is now the angelics talking, right? So these are the beings who created matter. They're the beings who created the experiences, the opportunities that you have to fulfill every one of your curiosities, right? Because that's what intentions are. They're curiosities. And then your attention to those curiosities brings them to life. That's fertility. And then as you experience them, that becomes fulfillment. Doesn't mean that they always work out. That's the whole point. It's not about working out exactly how you planned, because the whole point of exploring is not planning, is a curiosity and allowing it to take shape and be what it will, right? That's what you're here to do. You're here to explore. And you're here to question everything. And it's not about questioning everyone, because here's the thing, everybody should be off doing their own thing. If you find yourself stuck questioning other people over and over and over again, that's because you're in a relationship that is not fulfilling you. It's not fulfilling your curiosities and your ability to explore your own potential, right? And experience your own fulfillment. So change it. Change it. If it's your job, if it's your career, if it's your home, your relationship, your community, it doesn't matter. It's time for change if you cannot explore who you are. Okay. Because so he's explaining that fertility is the opportunity to not only explore your potential, but to explore curiosity in a way that brings new learning to existence. Just feel that for a minute. That's pretty significant. So your curiosity, your thoughts about something or anything, bring new aspects of existence into being. Okay. So these are the people that we see as leaders in whatever it is they're doing. Okay. It doesn't matter. Right. And when I say leaders, I don't mean the highest paid, the most recognized. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is those who experience fulfillment on a regular basis. They feel, right? What is fulfillment? Fulfillment is recognizing that you are genuinely full. You're content with what you've learned and what you've experienced as a result of your curiosity. So your curiosity led you to ask questions. It led you to go down a rabbit hole where you tried different things in your own life. Okay, this is not experiments on other people. That's not what we're talking about. It's basically using yourself and your life as the opportunity that you have been offered by the Creator and by your soul by choosing this life. Right? That's why we're here. You're here to explore your potential. The only way to do that is by following your curiosities. That's fertility, is by following it until it becomes an experience. Sometimes our experiences as a result of our, they're trials. Some of them you're like, wow, that did not go well. But it's not getting frustrated or angry. It's laughing and recognizing it's a part of who you are. And you learned that not because it was a mistake, not because you did anything wrong, but because that experience is now foundational wisdom in your memoir, in your awareness of not only existence, but your relationship with existence, your potential tied in there, all of that. Every experience you've ever had has all of that information stored in it. This is why they've encouraged you over and over again to look back at the things that you've decided are your greatest secrets and the things that give you the greatest shame and you hold the most guilt for. Why? Because those actually were your greatest opportunities for personal gain. What is personal gain? It's not about money. Personal gain is understanding the most valuable commodity in existence is information. Information. That is why souls are here, because we're here to evolve. We're here to explore our potential. What do you need to do that? You need information. So every time you have a new curiosity, a new interest, what do you need? You need information to allow it to grow, allow it to build. Where do you get that information? Where do you get the information you need? This is the fundamental part that most people miss because they're using the 1 to 2% aspect of existence to get their information, that whole physical side. But the 98 to 99% of you, the foundation of existence itself, it's energy. And the information is all in energy. What do I mean by information in energy? I mean, the history of every aspect that has ever occurred since the moment of conception of this universe is in there. It's locked in there. It's not locked and hidden away, right? It's not secret, and it's certainly not classified. Everything in existence is your story. It's your history. Why? Because you're an integral part of existence, and it can't be hidden from you. Why? Because the Creator made darn sure. Because the foundation of your existence is exactly the same as the foundation of existence, which is what they've been sharing since the first part of the story of creation. And when you understand that you're not only an integral part of creation, you actually have the capacity to create any experience you want simply because of your intention, your curiosity, and your choice, how you choose to participate in that experience. That's your life. That's why you're here. And as you do that, as you write your story, as you bring new aspects of existence into being, you're contributing to consciousness. You're rewriting the story, not because you're erasing what came before, but you're making the story better and fuller and more abundant because you're contributing to things that have not been done before. That's the curiosities. That's what humans were meant to do. That's what we were created to do. It's not about doing the same things over and over and over again. It's really not. It's about understanding that you're here to explore what brings you joy, but also what you're curious about. And some of the things people are going to wonder and go, why do you want to explore that? Who cares? Who cares what they think? And this is the whole point. It's not someone else's business to judge, condemn, or condone what it is you're interested in. And you have to stop worrying. You know, it could be anything, because here's the thing. Your interest in whatever aspect of existence you're interested in is going to bring you more awareness of yourself. Self-awareness is what propels you forward, is what causes you to go in the direction to search for information not yet found in existence. What does that mean? That means you're about to create it. When you push those boundaries, that's why you have access to consciousness itself, full access. So that every single thing in existence around what you're curious about or interested in, it's there, it's written. All you have to do is ask the questions and the answers are going to come. You just have to sit still long enough to receive them. And not sit still doesn't always mean sitting still physically. It means vibrationally and energetically being open to receive the information in a way that is completely different than you've been taught how information comes to you as a result of the education system. Because listen, education system is, again, inside that 1% of your existence. 99% over here, right? Energy. That's the foundation of your existence. You learn through energy, through vibration. It's understanding that information comes through subtleties in vibration. All you have to do is learn how to remember them, to feel them. It's tricky. It's tricky when your brain doesn't want to believe that existence, energy is existence. It really wants to believe that the physical representation, this physical world we live in, is it. It's more important than everything because it tells you the rules and it tells you what you can and can't do and the punishments or the judgments that you're going to experience if you don't follow through, right? That's what that world tells you. But over here, the foundation of your existence, it's set up for you to succeed. It's set up in a way that not only allows you to explore your potential, but encourages you to contribute to existence itself. That's why you have that feeling of what's my soul purpose? What am I meant to do here? You have that feeling, that restlessness that says, I need to do something. I just don't know what it is. And so you look in the 1% world, right? And maybe you want to create a business or you want to create a model where you can help people heal and you want a healing center. And maybe, you're wanting to donate your time and you want to create a big, huge nonprofit, or maybe it's a small, it doesn't matter. But the point is, you have an insatiable desire to contribute to human existence. Just think about it right now, right? What do you want your legacy to be? Do you want it to just be nothing? Do you want it to be that people forget you as soon as you're gone? No, you really don't. You may say it even in haste, in jest, because you're frustrated with your life. But the reality is, what do you want to be remembered for? Your kindness? Okay, great. You were kind. Or do you want to be remembered because you weren't limited by the challenges other people set for you? Your curiosity was greater than your fear. And you did things that you didn't think you could do. Why? Because you tried to do them. What do you want your legacy to be? Because that's why fertility exists. Because it makes darn sure your legacy comes to fruition. Your potential and who you are and what you're meant to be doing, it's all determined. All of it is determined by your participation. So let's start to look at it. Look at it in a way that allows you to see fertility and participation as your best friends, because they really are. They're always there for you. You just have to open the door. You just have to let them in. Yeah. They're showing me it's 100% looking at your legacy and where you stand right now. And it's imagining you're standing on a hill, and this hill represents your life goals and your life accomplishments. And they're asking you right now, tell me about that hill and who else is on it, because they're so interested in what you created and what you did. Right? And it doesn't matter. Okay. It's not about having thousands and thousands of people or millions of people on your hill. Maybe it is for some people. Maybe your whole goal is to raise the most incredible children. So your children are on the hill, but every single person that your children connect with and touch, they're on that hill too. Every generation to follow are on that hill. It's not needing it to look like, oh my gosh, I need to do something for millions and millions of people. It's understanding that whatever you're interested in, whatever you're curious about, how can I do this? How can I do this in a way that my soul will feel nourished and fulfilled? That's what we're looking for. That's what every human is looking for, fulfillment. And it is not about what other people look at. It's not about what society, because we live in a society that our values are really messed up, right? We look at fame and we look at fortune as deciding factors on who made an impact and who didn't. That's not accurate, right? It's understanding that your impact is a result of your participation. How you participate in your life, in your existence, that's what makes an impact in the world. So do you participate from a place of, whoop, let me be over here because I'm too scared to do everything or anything. I'm curious about it and it's really cool to talk about it, but I'm not going to do anything about it. Your hill's going to be really small. It's going to be like an anthill. But for those who they participate in spite of fear, they find the courage from that inner knowing that I'm going to do it because I don't want to look back and regret this moment. That is the moment where you allow yourself to vibrationally become an expression of fertility. You become it. And that allows you to become the experience that you are actually creating. That's what energy is. It speaks in volumes in ways we don't understand because we haven't explored those aspects of our own existence. People are trying, but they're trying to understand it through science, through computers, through, readouts. Do you think that a computer, any computer, the most advanced, most highly technical, I don't care what it is, they cannot even capture more than 2% of conscious awareness and existence that your vibrational cells, every single cell in your body has the ability to understand. And yet we defer to computers. We defer to human minds to tell us what our potential is, the probability of our success. Maybe we should stop. Because maybe, just maybe, inside of you is more potential than any human mind could possibly comprehend. And maybe it's time you allow that awareness to start seeping into how you exist, seeping into your thoughts, into your creativity, into your participation in life and existence. And maybe you'll find that your greatness just sort of seems to sneak out of you. It's almost going to catch you unaware because you're going to have to find that you're going to be running to catch up because your greatness wants to come out. What is your greatness? It's literally that. Whatever you're curious about, yes, that's the first part, but it's participating in what you're curious about. Ask the questions, receive the answers, explore, right? Experiment, try all the things. Because every time you try an experiment based on what you know, right? Now you've got information, try an experiment. Guess what? You're going to end up with more questions. That's the whole point of existence. And it's not experimenting to get the answer. It's experimenting to see what happens. Because the moment you see what happens, wow, another question comes and another question and another question. It's never ending because that's how consciousness works. Consciousness is not static. It's in evolution, but it's not from one being. It's not from the creator. It's from every aspect of conscious existence. Every human soul, every soul of every living being in existence. So not just angels, and it's trees and plants and animals and minerals. Yeah, minerals, their souls, their energy. They're all there contributing to consciousness. The elements, wind, fire, water, all of them Every aspect of creation is contributing to consciousness. It's not like a library where only those who can write in big words contribute. It doesn't work that way, guys. You're a part of creation. You're contributing to consciousness. So, what are you going to do with that? What are you going to do that is valuable and worthy of who you are? What's your legacy? I'll see you next time. Bye for now.